Good. So this is a video just to show you different types of obstructions and how to use different components within KCD in the accessories to showcase this in your design so your client understands why you've designed a certain way. Engineering can see what's there, and then when they do the final measure, if they do a final measure on your job, they can also see that there's something blocking the design. So for a sprinkler, I use a pipe, a plumbing pipe. And I'm just going to drop it on the wall. You can actually specify this and put it wherever you need to. You can either click and drag it, but just remember when you're placing something, this is the left part of your wall, this is the right part. So however you've measured it, you know, if it's only 24 inches from the left wall and it's maybe 13 inches off the wall, then you can specify it. And so what it'll do is it'll put it in the ceiling where it goes. And you can adjust the depth of this. So perhaps it's only 3 inches. But if you're in 3D, you can see that. And if your client wanted to have a deeper unit there, then they'll understand why they're not going to have a deeper unit there. With a ceiling AC vent, I actually use the floor vent. And I specify that it's 96 inches off the floor. And however many inches it is from left or right wall. So in this case, it might be 30 inches from the right wall. Maybe it's pretty darn close to where the wall and the ceiling come together. Maybe it's only 10 inches. Now you can see that this is an AC vent. So now if your client's trying to figure out why you're not placing a drawer unit here, because the drawer unit is 16 inches, and they want to go to the ceiling, this is why. So you just have to be very mindful because you don't want to place something that's going to cover that or have molding that's going to be obstructed by it. An access panel. I use an electrical box. I use this for a lot of different things. Most access panels, and this could be in a garage, they have the access panel with all the switches on it. So this might be 12, sorry, maybe this is 10 inches wide, 20 inches high. Doesn't need to be real deep. Perhaps this is something that's closer to the floor if this isn't a condo. Maybe it's 20 inches off the left wall. But I also use this particular electric box to also use for a safe. Doesn't have to be exactly what it is. Your job is just to show that there is something there. So if this is a safe, maybe it's 20 inches wide, 32 inches tall. Maybe this is 22 inches deep, and it's going to be bolted to the floor. A lot of clients will request that we design a unit around this, which is okay if we have the clearance for a deeper unit. If they want a door on that unit, we just have to factor in some additional clearance around it. We'll also need to know where the handle is, where the hinges are. So if you can take a picture of it and upload that into Zoho, please do. But this is a good box to use. Refrigerator, water heater, those things are actually in here. So you have your kitchen items. You have to remember these are all in here because this is a kitchen cabinet design software. Not going to put a placemat or a coffee mug somewhere, you know, unless you're really trying to jazz something up. But there is a refrigerator. You would probably get this maybe in like a butler's pantry or in a garage. Just take your measurements accordingly, and you just want to make sure that you're designing space around it. This is a unit that probably needs to breathe. So for, you know, you just do your due diligence and maybe have an inch or two on each side. Washers and dryers, same thing. You could do they have front loads. You could do another one and put it on top of it. You could do your washer. And if you're doing a top load washing machine, make sure you take the measurements of the machine and how far off the back wall it is, but also factor in how high this is going to open. Because that's really where you want the bottom of your upper cabinet to start or not be any further down. So that about covers it. Just a couple different units that you can use. Obviously, there's a lot more. If you have a sink that you want to place on top of a cabinet, but this will just start with some of the important, more commonly used things. We also have doors, windows, light switch, and electrical outlets. But if you are in a laundry room that happens to have a lot of piping or a water heater that has a lot of things around it, just measure from one side to the other where you cannot design. And maybe your width on this might be, I don't know, 28 inches. So this could be one of the water heaters with pipes, but you just want to know that that space cannot have a unit.